Have you ever felt as though every courageous move you make is met with a tidal wave of opposition? As though unseen forces conspire to snuff out your light just when you begin to glow? It's easy in those moments to wonder if you're under a curse or walking some hidden path of punishment. But the truth is far more beautiful and powerful. The fiercer the spiritual battle around you, the more radiant your destiny. When God's own seal rests upon your life, the enemy pours everything he has into trying to undo it. And in the process, he unwittingly forges the very strength you need to fulfill your purpose. Imagine a wilderness where you find yourself alone, the noise of daily life slipping away, until all that remains is the steady echo of your own heartbeat. In that solitude, it's as if walls close in, familiar voices go silent, and you begin to doubt your worth. The enemy whispers that you are forgotten, unloved, unfit for any higher purpose. Yet in that divine silence, you discover something precious, a direct line to the Creator's heart. The absence of human applause becomes the presence of a love that never wavers. It is here, far from the crowd's gaze, that you learn to stand on the unshakable foundation of God's affirmation, rather than the fleeting cheers of people. In the caves of rejection and isolation, your soul's ears strain until they catch the gentle cadence of heaven's voice, guiding you into a deeper intimacy that world's distractions could never provide. As financial pressures mount, accounts drying up, doors that once swung wide now stubbornly shut, you might feel as though every coin you once held has been swept away. It seems as though destinies are traded for debts, and that security is nothing but a dream. Yet, paradoxically, this season of lack is the very crucible in which heavenly abundance is born. In those moments when your pockets are empty and your heart trembles, you learn to call on provision that isn't counted in earthly currency. You come to understand that true wealth is rooted in faith, the unshakable conviction that God is your source, even when every earthly source fails. The wilderness of poverty becomes fertile ground for miracles. A whispered prayer can move mountains, a little oil can multiply, and ravens can deliver bread at dawn. In grappling with scarcity, you grow in the confidence to steward the abundant grace that follows the trials, ready to manage blessings whose weight you once thought too heavy to carry. Heartbreak, the enemy hopes, will shatter your trust forever. When people betray you, leave you stranded in pain, or let their love grow cold, it feels as though your chest will crack under the weight of disappointment. But every tear that falls is another drop watering the seed of compassion in your soul. As your own heart expands to accommodate the loss, you begin to see the hidden wounds of others without criticism, only with a tender understanding that binds you to them. The very blows intended to harden you instead make you soft in all the right places, equipping you to comfort the ache of strangers and friends alike. Your journey through betrayal becomes a bridge for countless weary hearts, because nothing comforts like the embrace of someone who has walked through the fire and emerged bearing living water for those still parched. In your darkest moments, escape seems impossible. Temptations prowl like hunting dogs, offering a numbing relief that steals dignity one sip, one gamble, one secret sin at a time. The enemy wants to trap you in routines of destruction, convinced you'll never break free. But breaking free is exactly what happens when you realize those very chains are living lessons. Your story of deliverance becomes sharper than any sermon, because you speak from the scars etched deep in your soul. You learn that freedom isn't an abstract concept. It's a living, breathing testimony that you hold in your hands. In the ashes of addiction, hope grows, and the voice you raise to tell of your rescue becomes a siren song to prisoners bound in despair, calling them to rise. Then there is the sting of slander, the way lies whispered behind closed doors, and sometimes even in crowds, seek to bury your name in shame. When reputations crumble and friendships unravel, it feels as though you're wandering in permanent dusk, unsure of who to trust or where to stand. Yet the very mud thrown at you becomes rich soil for the roots of vindication. Like Joseph in a prison cell or Daniel in a den of lions, you learn that false accusations can serve as secret staircases to your destiny. In stillness, you find courage. Beneath false charges, you discover the firmness of God's justice. The more the world whispers that you're finished, the louder heaven proclaims that your best chapters lie ahead. Time seems to stretch when answers delay. You pray, and there is nothing but an echoing silence. Every project stalls, every appointment falls through, and you begin to believe that God has abandoned you. But in the quiet workshop of waiting, your character is carved with divine precision. While weeds sprout overnight in shallow soil, mighty oaks take centuries to root deeply enough to withstand storms. You too are being strengthened from the inside out, prepared for an impact that will last far beyond a fleeting moment of success. Patience becomes not a passive resignation, but an active cultivation of endurance, faith, and hope that refuses to wilt under pressure. When sickness comes and normal patterns of strength and health are disrupted, your body weakens and fatigue threatens to overwhelm you. It seems unfair that the mission you feel burning in your spirit should collide with physical limitations. Yet in those valleys, you discover an unbreakable resolve. Each pain-filled breath brings you closer to a profound reliance on the God who heals. Your faith transcends physical walls, and every small victory, a day when pain ebbs, a moment when energy returns, becomes a celebration of divine power. Your perseverance shines like a lamp in dark places, guiding others who wonder if wounds can ever become worship. In miracles of gradual recovery and moments of unexplainable strength, you become living proof that weakness can be the stage upon which God's might is displayed. There are days when doubt and fear swirl in your mind like a relentless storm, thoughts ricocheting in endless loops until your soul cries out for relief. Anxiety promises that each whisper of insecurity is a prophecy written in stone. But when you finally release every strategy of self-reliance and cry out for guidance, your mind becomes a channel for heavenly wisdom. Truth descends like manna, fresh, nourishing, and exactly what you need. In surrender, you trade mental chaos for divine clarity, walking forward with insights that no lecture or book could ever teach. The same mind the enemy sought to fracture becomes the throne room from which inspiration, invention, and leadership flow out to bless others. At the edge of every breath, the enemy might even conjure thoughts of ending it all, pushing you into shadows so dense you can't imagine dawn ever breaking. He sends depression as a cloak to suffocate your hope, whispers that relief lies in letting go of life itself. But every time you resist that voice and choose to live, you stand in open defiance of death's dominion. Each near-death experience becomes another chapter in your testimony, a living resurrection that roars against the gates of hell. With every victory over despair, you hold an anthem of survival, proof that if you can choose life when death beckons, you can stand firm in any storm and emerge triumphant. All these trials, The loneliness, the lack, the heartbreak, the chains, the lies, the delays, the sickness, the storms of the mind, and the flirtations with death are not curses, but catalysts. They are not derailments, but the secret tracks hidden beneath the obvious rails, guiding you toward an exponential release of destiny. In every clash with darkness, every weapon hurled against you, there is a hidden blessing waiting to be claimed. Your anointing is so potent that even hell's greatest efforts cannot derail you. They only refine you, exposing the metal of your character to the furnace until it shines with a brilliance that heavenly realms adore. So when you feel the battle intensify, don't shrink back in fear. Lift your eyes, take a steadying breath, and remember, every godless plot is working behind the scenes to launch you into your purpose. The tempter's traps become stepping stones. His curses turn into your coronation. You are not merely surviving war, you are being equipped for victory. Your story is a living tapestry of redemption, woven by hands far more powerful than any force arrayed against you. Keep pressing into the presence of the one who called you out of darkness into light. He is the author of your triumph, the architect of every twist that seemed intended to break you, but actually made you unbreakable. Your life is not a series of random battles, but a divinely orchestrated symphony of breakthroughs. The fiercest clashes herald the most profound advances. In your weakest moments, you become the most courageous warriors. In your scars, you bear the sweetest beauty. And through every valley, you ascend onto higher ground. This is your inheritance, to walk in a strength that mortals cannot manufacture, sustained by a power that turns every assault into a launching pad for glory. Embrace the divine paradox. The very hammer blows of the enemy are molding you into a masterpiece designed to radiate heaven's glory on earth. You are chosen. You are protected. You are undefeated.